They called it the new gold rush of Chile's highways. But behind every staged crash and every burning engine, men were gambling with their lives. Before the chaos of blocked motorways, before armored trucks vanished under the cover of fake accidents, there were men living double lives. By day, ordinary workers, mechanics, drivers, men with families. By night, restless, watching the traffic of armored vans that carried millions in cash across the long arteries of Chile. The pandemic years had left cracks everywhere. Jobs lost, debts piling up. And highways, wide, fast, exposed, looked like opportunities. It started in Santiago. Rumors whispered in garages and bars, the trucks are vulnerable. A staged crash, a blocked lane, and the money is ours. Among those listening was Mauricio, a former tow truck driver with too many debts and too much knowledge of the roads. He knew how long it took police to respond. He knew the blind stretches between exits. And he knew desperate men willing to follow him. This was the calm before. Ordinary lives, already leaning toward the edge. And soon, the first move would drag them all past the point of no return. Mauricio didn't rush. He studied. Weeks of watching armored vans thunder down Route 5, Chile's lifeline stretching from north to south. He timed them. Counted escorts. Marked the exits. His idea was simple. Brutal. A fake accident. 2 cars colliding, blocking the lanes. Chaos on asphalt. The armored truck forced to stop. And in that frozen moment, the crew would strike. But he couldn't do it alone. He needed men who could move fast, without hesitation. The first was Raul, a mechanic with a reputation for making wrecks look real. He could stage a crash so convincing even paramedics would rush in. The second was Diego, a former racer. Reckless behind the wheel, but perfect for blocking a lane and holding it until the last second. Others followed. Each man brought something. Stolen radios, stolen plates, even uniforms to pass as workers on the scene. They rehearsed in empty lots outside Santiago. Old cars slammed into each other again and again until the wrecks looked natural. Timing became everything. 30 seconds to block the lane, 1 minute to overwhelm the guards, then gone before patrols arrived. Every step was drawn like a script. Where the vans slowed. Where the fake crash would happen. Where the escape cars waited in silence. Mauricio drilled them hard. No mistakes. No delays. If one of you hesitates, we all burn. By early 2021, the plan was no longer theory. It was ready for the road. Done. Route 5. The traffic was thin, the light pale. 2 cars moved ahead of an armored truck. Mauricio's signal team. At the kilometer marker they had chosen weeks earlier, Diego jerked his car sideways, slamming into Raul's vehicle. Metal screeched. Both cars spun, blocking all lanes. Smoke curled from hoods. To anyone watching, it looked like a violent accident. The armored truck braked hard. Trapped. Behind it, traffic piled up, horns blaring. No one could move. Mauricio's men stepped out fast. Vests, gloves, faces hidden. In seconds they surrounded the truck. One man waved a fake police badge. Another shoved metal spikes under the wheels. The guards inside froze. They were trained for attacks on open roads, not for chaos staged like this. Radio calls crackled, but interference blocked them. Mauricio pounded on the door, shouting commands. Raul dragged a fire extinguisher across the windshield, clouding the driver's view in white spray. The men moved like clockwork, one cutting the side mirror, another hammering the lock. Seconds bled away. The guards finally drew their weapons. Too late. The back door gave under force. Money bags lifted, tossed into a waiting van. The whole crew moved with brutal precision, every man knowing his role. Then, a sound. Sirens. Someone in the jam had called ahead. The plan's clock was running out. Mauricio shouted, "Go now!" Engines roared. The wrecked cars cleared just enough space. And in under 3 minutes, the convoy vanished into the side roads leading to Santiago's outskirts. The first heist was done. The news would call it shocking. For Mauricio and his crew, it was only the beginning. Success made them bold. Too bold. The first hit had gone smooth. Almost perfect. Within weeks, Mauricio pushed for another. Same method, different stretch of highway. But pressure was building. The police had studied the footage. They noticed the wrecked cars appeared too clean, too staged. Patrol response times were shortened. Armored vans began traveling in pairs. Inside the crew, tension spread. Raul wanted to lay low, let the heat cool. Diego mocked him, "We stop now, we lose momentum. Money doesn't wait." Arguments grew sharper. Trust thinner. The second heist worked. Barely. A patrol car appeared earlier than expected. One guard fired from inside the truck. A single shot cracked the windshield of Mauricio's van. The men escaped, but the precision was gone. Nerves rattled. Then came the worst mistake. During the third attempt, one getaway driver abandoned his post. Panicked by oncoming sirens, he fled early, leaving the crew trapped longer than planned. The men escaped again, but not clean. Surveillance cameras caught partial plates. Witnesses described faces under ripped masks. And rumors spread fast on Santiago's streets. Someone was talking. Maybe a rival gang. Maybe one of their own. Mauricio felt it slipping. What had started as a flawless script was turning messy, unpredictable. The plan still worked, but cracks ran through it. Cracks that would soon tear the crew apart. By mid-2022 the highways were under siege. Not from the gangs, but from the police. Roadblocks, undercover patrols, helicopters circling above the busiest routes. Every armored truck now traveled like a moving fortress. Mauricio's crew felt the net tightening. Raul stopped showing up to meetings, claiming family trouble. Diego grew reckless, spending cash in nightclubs, drawing attention. Others whispered about him, about whether he'd crack if the police leaned on him. And then it happened. One morning, detectives raided a safe house outside Santiago. Inside, stolen radios, uniforms, bags still marked with transport company seals. Someone had tipped them off. The news hit the crew like a hammer. Phones went silent. Meetings stopped. The men scattered across different cities, sleeping in cheap hotels, afraid to answer knocks at the door. Mauricio tried to hold them together. He spoke of one more job, one final hit to fix everything. But the men no longer trusted him. Some believed Raul had betrayed them. Others suspected Diego. The paranoia grew louder than the plan. Soon, police arrests followed. 2 drivers caught in Temuco. A lookout grabbed in Valparaiso. Each man hauled in front of cameras, faces exposed to the country. The crew was breaking apart. And Mauricio knew, once the first man talked, the rest of their world would collapse. The collapse came faster than Mauricio expected. Under pressure, one arrested driver gave names. Within days, raids swept through Santiago's outskirts. Safe houses burned under police floodlights. Stolen cars, fake uniforms, cash bundles, all seized as evidence. Raul was caught trying to slip across the Argentine border. Diego, the reckless racer, was arrested in a nightclub parking lot, drunk and flashing stolen bills. Others disappeared into silence. Fugitives hiding in rural towns, never seen again. Mauricio lasted the longest. Weeks on the run, changing cars, never sleeping in the same place twice. But in the end, a tip led police to a warehouse near Calicura. He surrendered without a fight. Exhausted. Hollow. The trials dragged on. Some men received heavy sentences for armed robbery and conspiracy. Others cut deals. The rest vanished, their names whispered but never confirmed. As for the money, much of it was never recovered. Some believed it buried in the hills outside Santiago. Others claimed rival gangs took their share when the crew scattered. In the end, the Chilean highway heists left a scar on the country. Armored vans still run those routes, now surrounded by convoys and drones. The memory of staged crashes still makes guards tense at every sudden stop. Mauricio's last words before sentencing were simple. "We thought the roads were open. We forgot the roads never end."